Hello and welcome to my first video on this channel. Today I'm going to be playing some Standard with the deck that I was able to top 8 the World Championship with. Now, I think there might be some other things I could have done with the list, but just for this video, I'm going to keep it exactly how it was, not change anything around, and show you guys why I made the decisions I did, both deck building and gameplay. And yeah, it worked out pretty well for me. I was undefeated until top 8 in Standard. But it was a great match, and it was a great tournament, and I'm very happy to have been there. And yeah, I want to start producing some videos on this channel. I've wanted to make gameplay videos for Magic the Gathering for a while, but I might be able to do it as more than just a hobby going forward, and so I'd like to share this deck with you and hopefully going forward have some more Standard and maybe Modern gameplay. Now, I was going to play in a preliminary event, but as the MTGO preliminaries in the afternoon tend to do, it did not fire. There were not enough people, so I'm just going to run this through a league after I go over some of the deck building choices. So starting off with lands, I think my decisions were pretty stock. I know a lot of people were running the Fountain Port over Mirex, which I actually never got a chance to test. That wasn't a big one. I was actually considering going down, but I figured best not to switch without knowing how Fountain Port played out. I also have the double black cards on turn 3 and 4 and Gix and Shieldred, which a lot of lists didn't run. For removal, I had 3 Cut Down, 3 Go for the Throat, and 1 Bitter Triumph. I was expecting more Planeswalkers to be played. I think they're pretty well positioned. Bitter Triumph is worse against the aggro decks, but a lot better against midrange. I thought there was going to be a lot more Domain and the mono white deck, which there really wasn't a lot of. It was a lot of black, green, blue, black, and Gruul. But I'll get to some of the other choices I made. Now, a lot of people were running 4 Enduring Curiosity, which in my testing, I didn't like that much. And maybe part of that is because I was testing more against Domain and the mono white deck, and they had a lot of exile removal. And I just found that Shieldred could get down either when they had a Caretaker's Talent or an Up the Beanstalk and deal them enough damage to just get them low enough that I could win and tempo them out before they fully stabilized. What other decisions do I make? I still liked the effect of drawing the cards. I just really wanted Shieldred in my deck. Shieldred is also very good against mono red, much better than the Curiosity against the Gruul Prowess decks, which is another reason I wanted the Shieldred. I'm running the Gix as kind of a placeholder because I didn't love all the 3 drops. I think if I made any changes, I should have had 4 Preacher of the Schism. This card is just insane with Kaito, with Shieldred, with literally every card. This card is just nuts. So I probably should have had 4 Preachers and maybe gone down a Gix or possibly a Curiosity or a Shieldred. I don't know, but maybe down both Gixes for another Preacher and another Kaito. Kaito was very impressive as well, and it's really good with Preacher. I settled on 2 Kaito because I do board it out in the aggro matches, and I expected a lot of that. But I did really like it against green-black as just a way to tap down their stuff is really good, and a lot of the lists were not running any main deck ways to just kill it, which is really, really good for me because Kaito takes over the game very quickly. The rest of the deck is pretty stock. I have 2 Phantom Interference, 2 3 Steps Ahead, which are both just solid counter spells. I have 4 Spyglass Siren. This card is nuts. It's a lot of the time it's just a flying Elvish Mystic that you get down a turn early. It's hard to compare it to that. Very comparable to Thraben Inspector or Novice Inspector, but maybe even a little better. Definitely better in this deck because it has flying. Fairy Mastermind, also an insane card. Maybe not the best against Gruul. I boarded out against Gruul, but against any deck that draws cards, it's great. Domain, green-black, anything with Unholy Annex. Bat is incredible in this deck. I did play against green-black Delirium, or green-black Midrange 3 times in a row on day 2, and I like boarding out the bats there, because they're just too slow. You need to get ahead on tempo. Kaito's one of your best cards, and you don't really want to Kaito into bat, or bat into Kaito. Mastermind's a lot better, and you do want the top-end stuff, and like the Tidebinders are really good against their Demon plan. But yeah, that's the gist of it, and we'll go over more stuff as we get into the matches. For the sideboard, I have the 4th cut down. You need it. 2 Malicious Eclipse, which I sometimes bring in against Mono Red or Gruul, unless they're on the 4 Urabrask's Forge, in which case, if that's their plan, sometimes this can be a dead card. I have 2 Ghost Vacuums. This is for the Oculus matchup. I played it a lot, and this card is great there, and you do need a little bit of extra help. I have 2 Anoints, so let's see, what have I gone over? I have my Eclipses. These are also great in the Jeskai Tokens matchup, but there was not a ton of that. I have 2 Anoint with Affliction. Those are for... They're good in a lot of matchups. I bring them in against Gruul in over cut down. Or not Gruul, green-black over cut down. I bring them in against Gruul, of course, and the Oculus deck as well. They're very good against. I have 2 Withering Torment. This was for Domain and also the Caretaker's Talent deck, which didn't see a lot of play, but it did end up coming in against green-black because everyone was on the Annex version. I have a Gix's Command and an Aclazotz as some top-end stuff. These both come in like the blue-black Mirror, as well as the aggro matchups. And then I have 2 Tidebinder, which come in a lot, but I think are better post-board, and 2 Disdainful Stroke for big ramp decks. But that's enough going over this list. You'll see what everything's here for as well once we get into the gameplay. So let's jump into a league, and yeah, just start this off right. Hello and welcome back to the first match. I am on the draw for this game with a very good hand, actually. I have 2 removal spells, a bat, and a Kaito, as well as a counterspell. Do need to draw a 3rd land at some point, but I have a lot of early plays, so it's not the end of the world if I don't. Looks like this is the blue-black Mirror, most likely. That deck has been seeing a lot of popularity, and so it's pretty likely they have a cut down here. Not 100%, but pretty likely. I don't mind if my Siren does get cut down, so I might just run that out. Then again, I don't really want the bat to be able to take my cut down, because then I would have to go for the Throat It. So I think I'm just going to end up passing, and then next turn, with no plays from my opponent, if they're holding up a Mastermind, I can go Verge into cut down. But it looks like they just don't have anything on turn 2, so I guess I will set up for a turn 3 play. I think I will set up to go for Kaito on turn 3, so I'll just play a Siren and pass, holding up cut down. Because if I can get this Kaito going, it's going to be very, very good. And if I crack the map token, which I would like to do at some point, it's very likely that I just get cut down here. Probably correct for them to cut down either way. They have Slasher. Okay, so I am just going to cut down the Slasher just as a tempo play, and then I can start getting in with Kaito. It's okay if it gets back. I'm not planning for this game to go super long, but we shall see. So let's get in with the Siren, and I like to just, if I don't really need to draw a ton of cards, which I don't think I do right now, just start plussing the Kaito right off the bat, so it starts killing a lot quicker. And also, once you get it up to 5, it gets a lot better, because that way you just have a double stun counter thing. Like you can stun 2 things without having to worry about your Kaito dying. He's going to go for a Spyglass Siren, which I'm okay with, and just pass the turn. So there's still one more turn on that Slasher. And now I draw another Spyglass Siren. So I have a couple options here. I do think I'd like to hit an untapped land, so I can go Siren, Siren, Bat. So let's just attack with Kaito first and see what happens. I'd like to be able to defend it from a reef as well. We'll see if anything gets played at end step. It looks like he's just going to chump, so I guess I'm okay with that. Let's just plus Kaito again. Doesn't look like there's an answer to it now. Play a Siren, and I think just pass, because I can counter a Fairy Mastermind, although I don't have to now. And I can hold up Go for the Throat for the Reef in case he wants to kill this on end step. And then that doesn't tap for black. Okay, so that looks like what he's trying to do there. Maybe we see a Mastermind as well. Don't, which I think is still good for me because it means he's not using his mana. There's a Fountain Port. And it looks like I'm not going to get to use my mana either. I don't think I want to just go for the Throat, the Slasher. So right now we have a 5/6 Kaito. I don't think I want to do anything pre-combat. Let's just get in with Kaito. If he activates Restless Reef, I will kill it with my Go for the Throat, and then try and follow up by tapping down the Slasher and drawing a card, and playing out some of my things. Now I think I will start with a bat. Just let's force his hand, force him to do something, so that I can figure out what the next best play is. So, okay, just get to take a Phantom Interference and leave him with pretty much nothing. So it seems like he's going to crack that. So let's just tap down the Slasher so I don't have to worry about it for even longer. Play a Siren in case he does find some sort of counterspell or something. And I need to chump the Restless Reef and not go for the Throat it. And just pass. Yeah, he's going to draw a card. That's fine. Plays a Restless Reef pre-combat. Kind of tells me he's got nothing. Hopefully just slams some type of big threat here so that I can... Okay, like this, I'm going to let him attack so that he's tapped out. And then, do I have lethal? I have 5. Who are you milling? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So with a land and a map crack, I will have lethal. Or I guess I can plus Kaito as well. So yeah, I think I have lethal here. And there's just nothing he can do about that. Find the land as well. So let's crack the map on the Siren. Find another land. Let's just make sure this is 5. Up to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Awesome. So we'll mill him just to get a little more information about what's in his deck. See an Anoint there. And he's not going to let me. Makes sense. So I actually was not super prepared for the blue-black mirror. I didn't think a lot of people were going to be playing blue-black, actually. Definitely want Anoints because he's on the Slasher build, which I don't love. I don't love Gixes either, and I don't love Bats here. I do like the Tidebinders as more answers to Kaito. And of course, I like to have the Bitter Triumph as well. I like the Aclazotz, as there's not really a way to exile it, although it's not great against Kaito and like counter spells and stuff. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy to just go to the control plan, bring in the Gix's command as well, board these out. I think I boarded in a Malicious Eclipse at one point, but I don't love doing that. On the draw, I might switch out an interference for a cut down, or maybe I want to switch out a 3 steps ahead for a cut down. What is the best thing to take out here? Oh, yeah. If I want to bring in this cut down, I need to cut one more card. Enduring Curiosity, I like it a lot in the mirror and against green-black, but I don't like it anywhere else. So it's in there as my 5th 4-drop or my 7th 4-drop, depending on how you look at it. Let's just stay with the 3 cut downs, because if he boards right, then maybe he ends up with less things to kill as well. So, no, on the draw I'd like it. I'll board out the interference. Let's do that. Submit. Again, I will be on the draw. With a very strong hand. So keep. Do only have the cut down, so I may need to hold it up for a turn 2 bat, but I'm pretty happy. How much do I care about a bat? A bat takes my Preacher. I think I would just do this because I don't care too much about a bat, and I'd rather spend my blue mana while I can, because I did draw double Swamp. Looks like he doesn't have a bat anyway. So let's get in there. Maybe I don't want to get in there. It's possible I should have cracked the map first. Let's just pass. It's probably a Mastermind here. Which, yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to block it either, because I have the cut down for it. Alright, if you're going to duress me, I'm going to give you 0 duress targets. Sure. It does suck that I'm losing out on being able to spend all my mana this turn, but I still have multiple good plays for this next turn. Like, this is what, the bat's not that great here. You get to take my Preacher, I guess, but it's like a 2-mana Thoughtseize, and like as soon as I draw removal, I get my card back. Because you're never blocking and you're never attacking, because you just need to take, or you need to do that. Okay, so let's crack the map here. I don't think I want to slam Preacher, because then I run into removal. Let's play that. It's the one you know about. And don't need to attack. Let's just keep it back. I don't want to go into that and then Fairy Mastermind and then it dies. I don't want to rely on Fairy Mastermind as a blocker. Okay, so he is on the Shieldred version, my version of the deck. I think it's okay to let it live for a turn or so. And just play, or let it at least keep resolving its abilities. Play a Mastermind, and then I can double spell. Okay, that's great. Not even gonna need it. Oh, still in my draw step. Top decking removal there is awesome. Let's just kill it now. No reason not to. And get in with the Mastermind. I'm happy with this trade. If you want to block. Doesn't. I'll leave back the Siren, because otherwise I'm in the same position as last turn where I have to act before my opponent, which is never fun. Alright, it just says go. I guess let's put the pressure on him. Play another Fairy Mastermind. Draw a Dark Slick Shores. Not the best draw. Let's again do this, fine with a trade, leave that back to block, and now I'm just going to run out the Preacher so that next turn I have 5 mana's worth of play. If he just activates Fountain Port here, that's really not good for him. He's making a Treasure. I guess the plan is to draw a card, although don't want to do that on your turn, bud. All right, let's just F6. I'm not doing anything here. Plays a land. Please crack that Treasure. Something else, something big. Okay. So, yeah, gets to tap that down, but Kaito is really not great on the back foot. Wow. Okay, we don't have to run that out now. Let's play it slow. Just anoint that. Get it exiled. Make sure I kill Kaito here and attack you for 1. And pass. Don't think it really matters what I do. I guess couldn't crack the Treasure to draw a card there because there was not enough mana. Can't crack it for mana and use it for that. Okay. 1, 2. Let's just untap. And swing with everybody. There's 1 card left over there, so no reason not to do this. I mean, if it gets countered, it gets countered, and I'm still have a 1-turn clock on him. 2 turns, I guess, if you count this one. And is he drawing a card? No, just has Counterspell with no other effects. Doesn't want to draw 2 for the Masterminds. I guess that makes sense. And does want to draw 1 card. So I'll have 2 cards in hand going into next turn, but I also have 2 cards in hand. They're both good ones. And I don't think there's anything he can do here. Yeah, good match. I drew very well. He did not have the 1-drops and 2-drops as much as I did. I think I curved out a lot better than him there. But yeah, the rest I think is pretty bad in this matchup. Like you saw, I was able to just play my only non-creature, and then he just paid a mana to discard a card. So yeah, let's get right into the next one. Welcome back to the third game, because I'm 2-0 in the first one. Playing against Freddy Faz Bear, I assume. And got an okay hand. I think it's a keeper on the draw with a lot of aggro decks in this format. And I do have a 3 steps ahead as well to maybe loot away one of these lands if I can get up to 5, or if I flood out a little more. But yeah, just waiting on my opponent to make a move, hoping to play against a lot of similar stuff to the stuff that I played against in the World Championship, just so I can kind of explain my thought process a little more and show you the best way to play this deck. So it's going to be a Cacophony Scamp on turn 1 for my opponent. Now in these spots, I really like to just slam the removal spell, especially on the Scamp and the Hero. You just cannot let them get like a Snakeskin Veil off on that. I guess this might not be the Snakeskin Veil list. Scamp especially, I didn't play against that one. It was mostly the hero lists, but that does kill one of my creatures a lot of the time when it dies. I have a lot of 1 toughness creatures, so good to get it off the board early, and I'm really okay taking a damage here. Just don't want to die. 1 damage is okay, 20 is not, and that deck can output a lot of damage very fast. Opponent is taking a little while. I don't think there's a lot of options. I guess they could deal the damage for themselves, but I probably don't want to do that. I do like this art for the mountain. It's a pretty nice one. I'm running my Zendikar full arts. I didn't even play when this was out. I got it. Well, I started getting into Magic right around when Zendikar came out, but I didn't get any of the full arts. I played a casual Elves deck. Alright, Swift Spear is the worst of their creatures, in my opinion. But it does look like they have kind of a slow start, maybe only 2 lands. and tap land here. We'll see what they do with this attack. And next turn, we'll see what I draw, but I'm leaning towards just holding up removal. Maybe just main phase, go for the throating the Monastery Swiftspear. Hopefully, I mean, my best draw here I think would be a cut down. Just cut it down, play the Siren, super mana efficient, get my creature out. I will take another damage, go down to 18. That's okay. Right. What do I find off the top of the deck? Hopefully not another land. Do not need any more of those. My opponent does not want me to find out. Come on, Freddy Fazbear, let's move it along. Okay. Now I definitely need to play one of my 2-drops. So turn 3, I can decide if I want to play 1-drop plus 2-drop. The nice thing about Glass Siren is it kind of fits anywhere into your curve and just makes it super easy, especially with essentially 2 1-mana plays. But I think I'll just bat, hopefully get out the last creature, or I guess in this case, take the shock so that my bat survives and I can start chipping in for that 1 damage, that sweet 1 point of damage. Maybe 2 if I decide to crack the map on it. But we'll see. I'm happy to take a little bit of damage here. Maybe he just plots the show off. Knowing there's a turn inside out, I'm probably going to want to kill one of these creatures in response, or when he's tapped out. But the Siren is pretty good at blocking a show off if I can get a counter on it from one of the maps. And I could even double block to try and force the turn inside out at some point. Yeah, opponent is taking quite a while to make these decisions. Maybe someone who's newer to Magic Online. I know it's not the friendliest for new players. You gotta click through everything, unlike Arena, but I like it a lot more. I don't like that it's hard to bluff on Arena. Okay, so just plays a Slickshot show off and attacks me. Given that, Slickshot show off is kind of scary. We'll see what I draw, of course, but I kind of like the play of just kill the Slickshot show off, slam the Spyglass Siren, start chipping in with my annoying little bat. I didn't draw a land here, so hopefully not another creature, or maybe that's fine. I don't know what I'm really hoping for. And maybe I get up to 5 lands so I can do multiple modes of this, even 6. I don't think I'm getting to 8 this game, but 5 I definitely could. Try and start digging towards some of my bigger stuff. If I draw a Preacher of the Schism, of course I will just slam that here. A lot of my 3-drops are really good. Kaito is not the best in this matchup, but that's why you get to sideboard. Another reason I like this more than Arena, although you can play best 2 out of 3. Alright. There is Kaito, the worst 3-drop I could find here. And I think I like the play that I talked about, where I just do that, play this, make a map, and set up to tap something down with Kaito next turn. Maybe protect the Kaito by chumping with Spyglass Siren. And just start gaining a little bit of life. And, I don't know, you really got to force out the resources of the mono-red deck. Try and get value anywhere you can. Because they do a lot of damage out of nowhere, and you got to make sure that they're out. Once they do that big fireball, they can't have more afterwards. Or else you're just going to lose. So we'll see if they drop a land here. And I do think they want to draw lands at some point, but then they're going to kind of want to max out at 3. So we're hoping they either draw only lands or no lands. Better to be lucky than good. But yeah, not a ton to talk about. I've made my decisions for this turn cycle already. I won't block. I'd like to have this to chump when I play my Planeswalker next turn. He does nothing. I probably do nothing also. Wow, okay. So just using that to deal me 4. I'm quite happy with that. Maybe they are the fling deck, yeah. Okay, so they make a 2/2, fling that at me. I will have a couple options here. I guess. Okay, so my options are to get in with these two, Ninjutsu in Kaito and replay the Siren, and then tap this down, or just hold up Urtai. And I think I like getting some pressure on. This also leaves me a chump blocker still, and gets a creature out of the way, makes me another map. So let's do that. I'm going to gain a life here. Ninjutsu in the Kaito. Just tap that thing down so it can't bother me. Now I have this to chump the Challenger if I need to. And I have Urtai to remove. Well, I guess I will have to chump the Challenger because it's probably going at Kaito, and I can't really let that die. Going at Kaito, just as expected. So let's block. I don't think the play my opponent made was great. Just hitting me for 11. I mean, it's a lot of damage, but so let's do that. Well, I guess play the Mirax, because maybe I don't play. I mean, I'm definitely playing the Urtai this turn, but and I think I like just doing it main phase to play around a Snakeskin Veil, and also if he targets it with something else, he still gets the trigger. Let's just destroy that. Still have a turn of stun on the other thing. And do I have lethal next turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So maybe if I can get the counter off of my map. So yeah, I think that was a pretty bad play from my opponent of just going in with the turn side out. I used to be an infect player, and you really want to wait until you know you have a kill before you start throwing all your stuff in. Like, it was 3 cards to deal me 11, but it didn't kill me. I guess he got the manifest too, so he did essentially get to keep a creature. Maybe it was the right play, and there's just nothing I can really do here. I'm just so far ahead. I've hit all my land drops, and they haven't. But we are really hanging out on these upkeeps. Just waiting. I think this game is pretty much over. I would not be stressing about it. Oh. But I would like to get it over sooner rather than later. Anything in the chat? No, nothing. Just waiting on upkeep. Maybe take that stop off. Let's see, is there anything interesting to talk about? So I'm going to try and do a modern challenge. Or the modern showcase event. I would like to qualify for the next showcase championship or whatever. Let's keep that, just because it was so fun. And let's Get in. I have lethal, right? Yeah, with a counterspell backup. But yeah, I'd like to qualify for the next thing, and it means it's like the only time I get to play Pioneer too, is in online tournaments. I guess I could play leagues, but I don't really want to just jam Pioneer leagues all the time. It's fun sometimes, but I'd prefer to play competitively when I can. This is kind of how I like to board in the aggro matchups. Just bring in all my removal, again, turn into kind of a control deck. Let's see if I want to cut the Kaito. So Masterminds come out. Curiosity's not great. I'd like to bring in the Tidebinders as well. I think they're better than Kaito. And then I just kind of end up with something like this. And I've been boarding out Bitter Triumph just because I don't like the lose 3 and I have so much removal post board. And I don't know, I think it's between a Counterspell and a Gix, but I think on the draw I like cutting a Counterspell. Gix isn't great here, but the card draw is sometimes nice. It starts you winning the game, and it's a 3/3. It's a 3-mana 3/3. So, Centaur Courser. Okay, so my opponent is back, and I am on the draw, and I'm going to keep this great hand, really. This is exactly what I wanted to see in the top 8. I lost to mono red, and a lot of my hands had too many lands, or just had to mulligan them. But yeah, my opponent drew very well and played very well. I don't think, there were a couple places I could have tightened up maybe, but overall, I don't think there's a ton I could have done in a couple of the games I lost. Which is unfortunate, but made top 8, so I can't be too unhappy with that at my first Worlds ever, and I guess it won't be my last, because I'll get to go back next year and hopefully redeem myself. I want to get to that final spot. Maybe win a Pro Tour before then. Just get better at Magic is the ultimate goal. Be the best at Magic. Alright, so very quick draw from my opponent here. I'm going to take the damage. Okay. Doesn't look like he has a ton else to do. I would like to draw a 2-drop or possibly a removal spell. Another Preacher's not the worst. Let's crack the map. Okay, find a Reef, so I'll play it. I don't see a reason not to attack. I don't think I'm blocking this turn. So let's just get in. Make sure I have the block for another turn. Doesn't seem like my opponent has anything. He was very F6'd there. So maybe a lot of lands or a lot of creatures coming out from my opponent. Or maybe he's on the, whatchamacallit, the Urabrask's Forge plan. And I'll just get to show you why I don't really like that plan against me and why I don't think it's great. And I would honestly be okay if he slammed a Forge. I think it's a lot better against control. Alright. Draws for turn. Plays a tap land. Okay. Looks like I'm taking 7 as of now. We'll see if that's it. That is it. Am I taking another 6? Looks like it. Okay. So I'm going to play 2 creatures next turn. Make sure I have 2 blockers. Or play 1 creature this turn, but leave back my Siren so that I can block this turn. Hope my opponent doesn't have a Monstrous Rage, because that'll kill me. And go from there, I suppose. Looks like this is something. It has to be something, because put a Heartfire Hero into the yard, which seems like it would be really good here. So I don't know what this could be. Maybe a Challenger, maybe another hero, or a Scamp. So I'll probably end up chumping that one and blocking the Swift Spear, because I don't want to die this turn if it is just like turn inside out and then flip up a Challenger and deal me 5. And I definitely have ways to get around that. Hardcast Leyline of Resonance. Okay. That one I'm fine with. Don't mind too much. Let's get in with the Preacher. Start making 1/1 lifelinkers. And, well, I don't think you could ever consider a block here. See, here it would be nice to have, like, just one little removal spell to push him over the edge. Get him so close to tipping, and then just tip him over the edge with a little removal spell. Where I'm still, like, in danger of dying if he has something. Mostly a Monstrous Rage. But without it, and Monstrous Rage would have killed me last turn, so it'll have to be a top-decked one. Without it, I will die. Alright, let's tap out for a Preacher, because I still have the 1-up, but I'm not doing anything with it. I guess I'll bluff. Why not? Pretty happy to just block everything and try and slam an Aclazotz next turn. That card's pretty good. Or a Gix's Command. We'll see which seems better after the board state changes this turn. If he just plays more creatures, be nice to Wrath them, although this does kill my Preachers. But yeah, this card is just so good in this matchup. The Death Touch makes it very hard for your opponent to like do the thing they do where they make their creature bigger than yours. They can't combat trick you out as easily. Okay, so it is an Emberheart Challenger, which is a lot less scary than a Heartfire Hero, but a Fling will do it. Okay, just Snakeskin Veiling. Wow, wowee. Alright. Oh, it's a Giant Growth. What am I talking about? Alright. Okay, both of them get giantly growthed. Cacophony Scamp in the end zone. Exile zone. Play that this turn. Okay. Is there a way for me to not die to Monstrous Rage? No, so let's not play around it. Jump and block. And he plays a Scamp. And I think I just slammed the Gix's Command. There's a Shieldred. Hello there, Shelly. Put 2 counters and destroy all these creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. I go to 4, but he needs to have, again, Monstrous Rage plus Emberheart Challenger exactly, and then even then I still don't die. So I think this game is over as well. Don't think there's anything my opponent can do here. Let's just get in with this, go up to 8. Let's see, that'd be 8 damage, and I will gain a life. Okay, so it's over. I will be back for the third match, 2-0-4-0 so far. All right, we are back for the third match in this standard league with Blue-Black Midrange, the exact same list that I top 8'd the Magic World Championship with. And solid hand to start. Have 3 lands and have 3 drops, and I have the cut down as a little bit of early interaction. So I'm definitely keeping, and I'm definitely looking for either a Bat or a Mastermind or a Siren, really anything that costs less than 3 mana. Just so I can have a play on my first couple turns, especially with how fast this format is. Alright, so that's a Siren. Definitely not cutting it down yet, just because I don't have a play lined up for turn 2 already. So I'll probably end up cutting it down end step, because otherwise it's going to be a while before I have a chance to use this cut down. Or in response to the map, I would definitely do that. But yeah, if it's a Bat here from my opponent, I want to cut that down instead. So I do think it's worth it to wait. And still going to do it now. Just use my mana. And I'm pretty happy that my opponent played a tap land there, because that means if he wants to kill this Preacher, he's going to just have to untap and do it, and probably not have another play. Which means I'm the one who gets to keep putting my foot on the gas here. Because, yeah, you can go for the throat this here. Okay, I'm going to play a Slasher instead. So I think what I'm going to do is play a Siren and play a Bat. Well, suppose I should attack first. I think I'm okay trading here. And making a 1/1, and having 3 creatures to his 0, and being able to slam a Gix next turn. And okay, so what's in the hand there? More Slashers and a cut down and a go for the throat. So let's take the... What do I want to take? Maybe I take the go for the throat? No, I'll take the cut down. If he plays a Slasher, he's not really doing much for him. It is kind of what he has to do here, though. But I'm just able to pretty easily slam this Gix, get in for 2 in the air, draw 2 cards, and maybe even put a counter on my Siren. Right. Don't find a blue source, which is a little unfortunate, because I would rather play another Siren. I don't think I need the third one. Let's just graveyard that, hope to draw some more cheap removal, stuff like that. 2 Slashers right now. That ain't bad, but still have a lot of removal. Alright, let's just jump. Plays a Siren. That's fine. Now I guess I have to start worrying a little more about these Slashers, because they are still a pretty quick clock. I have Urtai to answer 2 in one go at some point. What do I want to do this turn? I guess I should probably get them out of the way first and then play my cheaper stuff. So maybe the play is just bang, bang, attack with the Siren, and pass. There's a 3rd Slasher in the hand, and 1 unknown. My other option is play a Siren and play a Preacher? No, I think I'll just Urtai to trade with both of those. Get in with the Siren, deal some damage. Alright, he is going right into combat. Let's play Urtai. Destroy one of them. It comes back. Do I want to block? I think so. Right. Both of your guys are tapped down. 2 stun counters on them. You're looking for lands. Find one, but it's a tapped one. have a Fountain Port, and I assume playing a third slasher here? Sure. Okay. I think I'd like to just get as many creatures down as possible. So I'll do this, crack the map there so that I can get in. I don't want a bat. Hit for 4. And pass. My opponent has a Dark Slick Shores and 3 unknown cards. Maybe it's better for me to get the Mastermind down earlier. Do I block here? I think I'm okay to take 9 here. 11. Jeez. This card's crazy. I will take 11. Plays a Dark Slick Shores. Alright. I will play a Fairy Mastermind on your end step. And it will get... won't get anything. Just an Enduring Curiosity in response. Okay. Suppose I want to get in with everybody. And then just slam the Curiosity. Can I hit an untapped land to go along with that? I can't. Let's still take a cut down though. Just having a 1-mana spell here. Even if it just taps down a slasher. He's going to have 3 untapped slashers next turn, so I need to end this game. Explores onto that, revealing a Go for the Throat. Sure. Attacks with both. I think I will block Slasher. Yeah, just take a little less damage. You still draw a card. So it's gonna have a Go for the Throat, and it's gonna have a cut down as well. Looks like this game is going a bit longer than I would have liked, but what you gonna do? All right, that's a pretty darn good one. Okay. Let's just get in with these. Okay. Cut downs that one. You take 1, I draw a card. I suppose I shall just pass here. Let's cut down. Go for the Throat. Go for the Throat. Sorry, I feel like I've been talking very quiet. I'm kind of locked into this match now. Pretty happy with the way it's going as of now. I think I'm just going to play Shieldred pre-combat to try and gain some life when I attack, and then I will slam the Preacher afterwards unless I draw something better, like a counterspell to hold up. What is this? Mastermind? Go for the throat on my Shieldred. Sure. So you take 1, and I draw 1, and have played a land already, so let's just slam the Preacher and pass. I'm at more life than my opponent right now, so it will be drawing me cards rather than making me tokens, which I think I would prefer tokens in this spot. All right, and that is the game. A lot of people on this blue-black deck. Pretty happy with my list in the mirror. So I'm going to board the exact same way as I did last time. You really do want the Anoints because Preacher is, well, I guess I'm playing against the Slasher version again, but Preacher is incredibly annoying, as is Slasher. As you saw in that game, they came back a lot of times. I was able to still get there in the end by kind of tempoing out my opponent. But yeah, I'm going to board into a more controlling build again. Take out these bats, which I don't think are great. Maybe take out the Gixes and bring in a little bit more removal and a couple top-end threats, keeping, of course, the top-end threats I already have. Let's get into the next game. All right, my opponent will be on the play, which makes sense. I have a medium hand here. Need to find more lands, but I have some top-end and I have some early plays, even if they are all reactive. It's kind of how you want to be. I don't know. Siren is still one of the best cards in the matchup. Spyglass Siren is a very good card. All right, I have 2 good answers to the Slasher, so not looking like I'm going to get killed with that. My opponent's probably playing a bat here. That's fine. That's fine. It's going to get to take something for now. Not really stop any of my plays, though. It does stop me from just slamming my removal spell on whatever he plays next. Kind of have to get a little tricksy with it now with the counter spells, and it is kind of annoying that he knows about the counter spells, but sometimes there's not really anything you can do, and you might just have to play into them. And I really don't mind taking like few hits as long as there's nothing else involved. No enduring curiosity. Spyglass Siren is probably the most annoying thing he could play there. It means he gets to keep holding up mana, and I cannot play anything into open mana, and yeah, curiosity is really good here. And the Mastermind. Well, can't exactly counter that, because then untap, play a 4-drop, pretty much has me beat. I am going to have to, I think, just try and go for the throat this bat now. Get my Anoint back. And yeah, start clearing off these little flyers. And if I had a Spyglass Siren here or something, oh my goodness. There it is. Best card in my deck. Woohoo! I mean, it's just so good here. Gives me a blocker, and it lets me still hold up both a removal spell and a counter spell for the Enduring Curiosity, which I assume he has. Yeah, this is the right play here. Oh, just draw a card. Yeah, sure. Sure. Yeah, this is the upside of Fountain Port over Mirex, which, given that everyone else landed on it, it's probably the right call, but I played Mirex, and I didn't really activate it ever. So yeah, probably should have been on the Fountain Ports, but I think there was maybe a couple times where I had, oh my gosh. It's just so good. He still gets to hold up all his mana. Might be a little bit priced into doing that. I don't think so, though. Let's just not. Let's just crack the map, make this a little bigger. Cutting it down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. This one might have gotten away from me a little bit. I think now is the time to just anoint that, and now we just start hoping you don't have it. Because untaps plays a land, and then I can no longer Phantom Interference the Curiosity. Just down another card. Didn't have it. I think I can go to the next game now, though. Won't make you guys sit around and watch that. That's how that matchup ends. That's why the Curiosity is so good. But I think if I was able to hit my lands there, I could have got there, and my opponent drew a lot more Sirens than me. Do I want Malicious Eclipse? That's the question. I never really figured out this matchup again. I didn't think I would be playing against it that much. Maybe they board out probably board out their 3-drops, the slashers. So maybe I just want to go for an Eclipse over an Anoint. Yeah, let's do that. Let's have the one of Eclipse in there. All right, incredible hand on my side. I have a Siren, I have some removal, I have some top end. But yeah, Spyglass Siren is so incredible in this deck. And it's great in all the decks it's in, but this one especially, it's just, it has so many roles. Like here, it's going to help me dig towards a land. Maybe just draw me a card. That will go into the graveyard. It's a 1-mana 2/2 essentially. Well, not a 1-mana 2/2, but 2-mana 2/2 flyer that surveilled me essentially. It's just very versatile. Looks like I'm definitely going to cut down this here, seeing as how my opponent did not have a black source to play this turn. That's probably their only 2 lands. So yeah, let's just get in with my Siren and probably go for the throat when they try to crack the map if they don't have another land to play. Just want to, I mean, it seems like, with those being the first 2 lands played, it seems like they don't have anything else. It's another Siren. Okay, wow. Sure, but my opponent's stuck on 2. I'm stuck on 2. I'd like to keep myself in the driver's seat, keep my foot on the gas, keep beating down, kind of forcing them into a worse position. But yeah, they are going to get this one off. Can't do anything about it. Assume go for the throat, goes to the graveyard. And the 4th Spyglass Siren. I'm definitely countering that. Just want to use my mana. But wild. They had 4. Now if I top deck a land, I can just slam Shieldred. And if I don't, I can't. So don't find the land. So I think I'll just pass. I don't see a point in trading now. My opponent would definitely block. 4 Spyglass Sirens. I mean, yeah, you gotta draw lands too, is the thing. Okay. We get there in the end. Hello and welcome to the 4th match of my blue-black mid-range league. Thank you so much for everyone who's watching and checking out the videos. Hoping to make a lot more, so make sure you subscribe if you're liking what you see, and like the video if you liked it. All right, let's get into it. I'm on the play for match number 4 with my first mulligan of the league. Deck is pretty consistent, so I wouldn't say I'm mulligan a ton with it, but first one not being until match 4 is maybe a little bit lucky on my side. Not sure what I want to put back here. Maybe Urtai, as I do have a lot of interaction, and Kaito's a way to get ahead on board. But it could also be the Kaito that I put back. I think I want to keep the early interaction here. Let's put back the Urtai, just so I hopefully have a chance to cast Kaito more. I love that card. All right, I will start with basic Swamp to hold up Cut Down in case we're up against mono red or something of the sort. Probably just going to play against the blue-black mid-range mirror again, though. It seems kind of like the best deck in the format right now, which I'm very happy about. I love me a good blue-black deck. Oh, is this? Okay. This is the Caretaker's Talent deck, most likely. So, hoping to draw some Fairy Masterminds. Some islands, I guess. Not really, actually, what I wanted to draw. I don't know if you could tell that was sarcastic. Do I counter a... Okay, not going to have to worry about it. Was wondering to myself if I would counter a Carrot Cake there, but I don't have to think about it because they didn't play a Carrot Cake. Okay, there's a Reef, which if I'm going to draw a land, I'd like it to be that one, but I don't want to draw a land there. I think I will most likely just counter whatever gets played here. If it's nothing, it's nothing. Do I want to Kaito? No, just because that means they get to slam their card draw engine, and I don't really have a way to do anything against it. So I'll just pass, wishing I sent back this Cut Down, but hard for me to know that I would have wanted to do that. Maybe I can't let them just start making treasures. I don't know. Yeah. This is a little bit rough for me. Just kind of flooding out. And need to have a bit of pressure. Okay, so this is black-white. Weird. I'm not going to do anything there. Wow, this is a lot of lands. And... I mean, do I just have to slam Kaito here? I think I might. Let's do that, and let's just surveil too. Make sure I find some stuff. Hold up the Cut Down in case they want to get frisky with a token. I guess I'll keep a spell here, even if it's not the best one. Okay, looks like they are going to get frisky with a 1/1. Or maybe not. No, waiting for my end step. Right, yeah, because I was going to capitalize on that if they didn't. Okay, so they make a 1/1 here. That's fine. Probably going to attack Kaito with it. That is also fine. But I guess that's good for me because it means they're not just going to get lost him. I don't know. I assume they'd rather just be making treasures than fish, but maybe they just want to get this game over with. They feel like they can't really lose, which I feel like I can't really win. So what is this? Big card over here. They are drawing a few cards, or making 3 rabbits and exiling my Kaito. Sure. Sure, that's not the worst thing in the world for me. Let's just cut that down. There's not a lot of targets. Okay. So, play a bat. Wow. Really was not expecting Shieldred there. Just take Go for the Throat, and they're going to slam a Shieldred, but I do have Preacher going, so it's It's not the end of the world for me if they have Shieldred. I also have a couple Restless Reefs to trade with it. And this Beza doesn't do anything. It's a 4/5. Have to kind of hope they don't find more removal here. Okay, so here's Shelly. And I presume just a carrot cake to go along with her? I guess not. All right. Well, I'll lose 2. No blocks is weird, because I assume they wanted to fountain port draw a card with one of their rabbit tokens there. But I'll take it. Magic once again 86. Drawing a card with a rabbit. Yeah, could have saved themselves 2 life here. Not super likely to matter, but you never know. You got it. Let's just do both. Feel like they probably should pay, and I'm pretty okay if they pay. Yeah, this is good for me, I think. Overall, don't feel like I'm in a winning position here, but that turn wasn't too bad. Still have a Caves of Koilos. Play a carrot cake, sure. Let's see what they do with the scry. Scries to the bottom. Okay. Attacking with Shieldred. I'm just gonna jump. Don't really want to start taking too much damage, and I think it's about time to start getting in with these Restless Reefs. The Reefs are getting restless indeed. Alright, let's just animate it and get in with everything. Start milling them out is kind of my game plan here. Definitely could get there. I mean, if they start drawing a ton of cards. Mill some good ones. Not great ones, but alright ones. Yeah, this is the play I was talking about last turn. I still have this back to chump the Shieldred. Sure. Draw a card, gain 2, take 4. Down to 18, 17. Oh, 5, right? Okay. And then I will pass. What do I need to find? I need to find removal for the Shieldred. Urtai would be very good. Or just any removal spell, really. Then I can start drawing cards off my Preacher, too. Alright. Getting in with everything. We'll just chump the Shieldred. Seems like they probably want a Wrath here. Is why they're doing this. Sure. Sacks a carrot cake main phase. I guess seeing if they want to fountain port and draw a card. And do they? Another card to the bottom. They're still going to activate the fountain port. Draw some more cards. Sure, sure, sure. And Legions to Ashes, my Preacher of the Schism. Okay, that's pretty darn good here. All right, so I am going to do this. I think I'll just crack on the bat. No, I'll keep that one. Now I will get in with my Restless Reef, as well as my other things. Gain some life, mill some cards, do some damage. Maybe I don't want to keep the Fairy Mastermind. I need to get rid of this Shieldred. It might have been time for me to start holding up the Restless Reefs to block with. But I don't know. Gets in with everything. I am going to chump here. I'm not ever doing enough damage for it to be meaningful. Opponent has 2 known cards still. Be fine with a Wrath. Okay. Legions to Ashes, my bat. Plays a Restless Fortress. And I would have thought playing Beza right there is the correct play. But who knows? Okay. I will just play land and pass the turn. And most likely die. Surprised he didn't make a fish. Nothing. Wow. Okay. So he's got a very slow black-white deck going on over there. I'm going to flash this in response. I mean, that's the thing with Shieldred is I need to draw cards at some point. So I'll lose 2. They gain 2. Gain 4, technically. And then kind of need to do this just to draw like a couple removal spells in a row in order to even have a chance for it to even be close this game. And wow. 3 steps ahead isn't really it. I think I have to try and draw out of it even more. Just drawing myself to death here. Go down to 4. Discard a bat. Do find the first removal spell. See if I can get the second, and then maybe start stabilizing just a little bit. Oh, oops. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Let's go to the next game. I mean, it was there. I guess I could have activated the Mastermind, and I don't know. Seems unlikely for me to win there, but we'll see. All right. Definitely could have played a little bit tighter there, but I don't know if it ends up mattering in the end. I don't think Withering or Anoints are good here. Aquazot's is probably okay, as well as Gix's Command is just like kind of a Wrath thing. And then I think the Disdainful Strokes are good. I definitely don't want the cut downs. What else do I not really want? I like Phantom Interference here. I like Kaito a good amount. I don't love... Gosh, I actually like a lot of these cards. Maybe Aclazotz doesn't need to come in. Do think I want the Withering Torments and the... How good is Tidebinder here? What did they have? They had Shieldred, they had Carrot Cakes, and stuff like that. So they probably have the talent. Oh, this list is actually not exactly correct. There should be 1 Disdainful Stroke and 1 Negate, which I actually made that change because I wanted to be a little better against the mono-white decks and have more answers to turn 3 Caretaker's talent on the play. But yeah, I think the last card I want to bring in here is a Gix's Command, and then I think I like just being pretty darn aggressive. So let's rock with this. All right, a pretty solid hand here. It's all right. Do not have the second black right now for the turn 3 Gix, but I do have a Spyglass Siren to try and find it. So next turn I can go tap land, crack the map. And am I getting Duressed here? Dreams of Steel and Oils. That one's fine against me. Duress, I would say, is pretty bad. I mean, again, would have just been a whiff. I got Duressed quite a few times at Worlds, and every time I was pretty happy about it. I think I won a game, or almost won at least a game where I multi 5, just because my opponent essentially multi 5 by Duressing me twice for no value. All right, let's get in there. Hit you for 1. He knows about the swamp, right? Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to play out my Gix. I don't have another play this turn. Hope you don't have anything. Most likely has a Get Lost or a Go for the Throat. Much happier with a Get Lost. That card is kind of bad. Okay, just as a cut down. So that's not the worst thing in the world for me. I imagine if he slams a 3-drop here, I'm probably slamming Shieldred. And if he does nothing, I'm probably not slamming Shieldred. But we'll see. It's a Caretaker's talent, so definitely want to slam Shieldred into that. And try and deal some damage. I guess maybe it's better to... I gain a life this way, or I gain 2 life this way. But maybe it's better to just see if I find another play. Ended up not mattering and being correct to do it this way. Well, I guess not correct, but... Okay, so takes 2. No immediate answer to Shieldred. That's step 1. Carrot Cake. Draw a card. I'm fine with this. You draw a card and take 2, and you have 2 Caves of Koilos up. Wow, another Shieldred. Like, this is when I like to have Shieldred over the Curiosity. Is I could draw so many cards here, I guess, but not even if he goes double chump. And looks like that's what he's going to do. You may draw another card. I'm definitely going to hold up the Urtai for a Wrath or other big Haymaker, which it's pretty likely for my opponent to play next turn. Okay, game 3, take 2, and then double chump is fine. I will counter a removal spell, I think. Even though I have a second Shieldred, it's just better to keep this one in and try and kill as soon as possible. Doesn't seem like my opponent has one, though, which is great for me. I don't think I can lose if they don't have a removal spell. But I imagine their deck is... I mean, I've seen a lot of it. I know their deck is pretty full of stuff like that. What was the draw for a turn? Tapping a black. So maybe a Dreams of Steel and Oil here. I think I will counter that one as well. Just want to get this Urtai down, really. Duress is fine. That's what I'm talking about. Why are you boarding in Duress against me? Yeah. All right. So have confirmed they're on Caretaker's Talent. I don't think I saw one last game. I think I'm pretty happy with the way my deck is set up right now. So against the mono-white Caretaker deck that I was seeing a lot of in my testing, I would bring in the Anoint with Afflictions over the Go for the Throats, because the only creatures they really had are the... They have Beza, which I guess is a little worse, but the important creature for me to kill is the... the 3-mana 2/1 that draws them cards, the Lifelinker. I think I have to mulligan this, just nothing before turn 3. It's bad for me. I'll put back a Preacher, I suppose. I think it's worse than my other 2 3s, in this matchup at least. Okay, there's a Gix's Command, which is a little secret mystery trick in my back pocket for later in this game. I'm glad to see another tap land from my opponent, and I will just be passing and playing a Fairy Mastermind. Yep. Is unfortunate that I don't... Well, maybe I'm not playing Fairy Mastermind. If my opponent does nothing, I will not play the Fairy Mastermind. Because there's just no reason for me to. I don't have a play for next turn lined up. It's just going to get hit with removal instantly. This is actually a play I made a lot against the green-black players. Is I know they don't have anything instant speed. I guess they could be running Ardenvale Fealty. But they don't have any instant speed plays, so if they pass with no play, then I'm not using any less mana than them. Now I'll play the Fairy Mastermind, because they do have a way to start using their mana, and I'm a little stuck, so I do have to start getting stuff out of my hand in some way, shape, or form. Just get in here. They shouldn't let me go past blocks. Looks like they're not going to. Sure. Let's just play Kaito here. They can't really do anything to kill it, other than play a removal spell next turn, and I'll just plus it. Again, that was a very good turn for me, just because they really couldn't use any mana. They have Get Lost for it, but that makes me 2 maps as well, so it's not the end of the world for me. Would have preferred to keep the Kaito, of course, but can't always get what you want. I think I'm going to double creature here. Are they out of removal? Oh, man. They flooded out very hard here. Okay. I mean, I'll take it. Pass to them. Their hand is 3 Caves of Quelos. Oh, 2 Caves of Quelos and a Concealed Courtyard, and they top-decked a Sunken Citadel. Okay. Feeling very, very in the driver's seat this game. Let's put 1 here so that the fortress can't do anything. I will keep that. I guess save the other map to try and draw land after combat. Shouldn't have played that one out, but whatever. Right? Get to draw 2 here. 1, 2. Yeah, it's fine. I'll crack this on my bat. Find an untapped land. Next turn, I need it. My opponent makes a treasure here, probably. Yeah, makes a treasure. I'm fine with this. Plays one of the caves of Koilos. And is playing something pretty big here. Unsure what it is. Maybe a robbery? Kaya. Okay, well, it doesn't have a hexproof from being countered, so let's counter it. Yeah, I mean, 7 drops in this format. This is why this blue-black deck is so good. It's hard to go over the top of it as other mid-range decks. Because it has counter spells and the most powerful threats. Like, it has Preacher, I have Shieldred in here, I'm drawing a lot of cards, very disruptive. And then I just back it up with, like, Urtai and other crazy counter spells. I think I'm just going to pass, and if I get Wrath, do a big Gix activation. Like, cast their top 4. And if not, I'm probably winning next turn anyway. Sure. I'm gonna just do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. What you got for me? This isn't great, but what do they got for me? I never get to activate Gix. I wanted to do it. I want to hit a Kaya. Okay, they go for the throw my Gix. I couldn't stop that anyway. All right, what you got? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the good stuff. All right, it is time for the 5th and final match of this league, playing the same blue-black mid-range list that I was able to top 8 worlds with, and just going over how it happened, or not how it happened, but how the deck plays, how I like to play it, and winning a lot, 4-0 right now. Hoping to get this 5-0, just had an awesome win. Got to activate Gix, which you really don't get to do that often. But I think this hand is a little bit too slow for this format. Double 2-step, 3 steps ahead isn't great, and Phantom Interference being my only thing that costs less than 3. So let's send it back, look for something a little cheaper. This hand's also not great, but think it's going to be a keep. Maybe a little worse than the last one, maybe wishing I kept that. All right, running up against Swamp. It's probably blue-black mid-range again. I've been playing the Mirror. Played it twice so far, along with this weird white-black tokens kind of list with the Caretaker's talent, and then also played against the Gruul deck. Okay, so here I'm just going to pass. It's like kind of obvious they have cut down, and I just don't need to play into it. I'd rather counter their 3-drop. Undercity Sewers. Okay, maybe this is the Demons deck then. I didn't get to play against this Dimir Demons deck that Javier won Worlds with. It looks super sweet, and I almost switched to the, not switched, but I almost started testing out just the control version with Doomsday, Excruciator, and Jace, but there was not enough time left for me to really swap over to that, so I thought it would be best to just lock in and play blue-black, which I'm very comfortable with and have been playing for kind of a while now. Again, just not going to play into removal when I don't have to, especially when doing so would stop me from holding up my counterspells. So, not a great time to slam Kaito, because there's a Reef and a Fountain Port, so we can just, for 0 cards, kill my Kaito, and it won't have drawn me anything. Now I can play the Deep Cavern Bat, because I still have the counterspell up, and I don't care if it gets for 1. Kinda just want to know what's in my opponent's hand, which looks like I'm going to get to find out. Hoping not to see a Fairy Mastermind on end step, but even just activating Fountain Port is a little bit annoying here. Hoping to honestly see a removal spell on this, and maybe one of the more expensive ones. All right, shoot the Sheriff. Let's see what you're working with over there. Yeah, so it is the other version of my deck, the demonic version, which I find it very weird that you run Doomsday Excruciator and Fountain Port in the same deck. That just seems, I mean, honestly, Mirex too, it just seems rather weak. Okay, Duress is real good here. Gonna get Duressed. I mean, it's not that great. It gets rid of my Kaito. It's good because it gets rid of my Kaito, but his options aren't incredible here. Can't play another spell, just has stuff to hold up, but is missing lands. I'm not going to get in with the Restless Reef, because that means I don't get to hold up counter spells anymore. I'm just going to pass and start activating this Mirex. Get ahead on lands, although a little too ahead on lands, if you ask me. I'd like to draw a Bat or Mastermind, really anything to just start, I don't know, getting some type of incremental value. All right. Opponent appears to have nothing. So let's activate Mirex. Tap. Suppose I'll just play another Reef. Although, what do I have revealed? Knows about Swamp, Underground River, so knows that I have 1 unknown in my hand. Is he just making a Fountain Port token here? Looks like it. I mean, I don't hate my position here. Does find a land. 1 unknown, 2 Doomsday Excruciators. And I'm just going to keep activating my Mirexes. Let's see, I'm still a turn off of having both up to activate. But once I get double Mirex going, that's going to be pretty darn good too. And like to see a Fairy Mastermind here. I'm pretty happy with that. We'll just get in. My opponent, I'm assuming, is going to block and sack to draw a card. Or maybe just take. Odd not attacking or blocking with the fish. Honestly, odd not blocking with the fish. I don't know why you wouldn't. I guess this is a pretty good time to sneak this under a counterspell so that it has to be go for the Throated. All right. Gloomlake Verge. he plays Archfiend, I don't really want to Phantom Interference and pay 5, because then he just makes... he just counters it. I think I'll just activate the Mastermind now. And that way he doesn't get a death trigger when he go for the Throats It, and then we both draw a card. Anoints it, so still has a go for the throat. We both draw. Shieldred is a good one. All right. No reason to play Shieldred yet. Can just double Mirrex activation here and win this race. Right, I'm getting attacked. Makes sense. Make 1. Make 2. 2 Mirrex tokens. All right. Let's just attack. Oh, I'm very happy with this. Let's cut it down. Play a Shieldred. Okay. Okay. Shieldred dies. I will, in fact, take 2 here. Okay, been very quiet during this match, too, I think. Kind of forget I'm recording this sometimes. It's very new to me, so apologies for the silence. Not a ton of decisions for me to make right now, and I am a little bit locked in. So I wanted him to go for the throat on my end step so that I could counter it. He did not play into it, but I was still in a very good position just having him at such a high amount of poison counters. Him activating the Reef there would have been a lot better than making a token there. But I've never played this matchup. I've played a lot against the mono black deck, which I guess is pretty similar, and I liked that matchup a lot. They just have so many things for me to counter. They tap out a lot, and I have a lot of options for things to counter. So I want Disdainful Stroke here. I think I want Tidebinder because it's really good against the Annex, and Torment is maybe better. They have bats, right? Do they have bats? I don't know if they run bats. Honestly, I should have been paying closer attention to that. Yeah, I like being pretty aggressive and just getting ahead here. Hopefully they board in Duress against me. But yeah, maybe the strokes are just worse than like Withering Torment, and I can probably go down at least one cut down and maybe try and go a little bit more instant speed, although Preacher seems really good still. Like Kaito a lot as well. Haven't gotten to do the thing where I just tap down the Archfiend and kill them with it. But maybe soon. Although I was boarding out the bats. Maybe that's correct here as well. Let's try that and bring in the strokes and then an anoint. Yeah, let's give that a go. Let's give that a try. Play just a little bit more instant speed control-y against the deck that taps out a lot, or has to tap out. I guess they don't always tap out. They have Mastermind as well. But yeah, that deck is super sweet. I do think I have a good matchup. I would imagine I have a good matchup, but again, I have not played it. Did pretty well against the green-black version at the tournament, and did pretty well in testing against the mono-black version, so do have some results that would lead me to think that. I've also just found the Annex to not be great against this deck. I imagine this deck is the best deck in the format. All right, not getting to rest, unfortunately for me. I've said this a few times, Duress, very bad against this deck. I will start with a Spyglass Siren and maybe get it cut down. Not get it cut down yet. My opponent maybe has a bat here, maybe has nothing, maybe passes, and I get to kill what they play. That's a great draw. Let's just play Swamp. Attack with the Spyglass Siren and pass the turn. No play is great for me. I think they have removal, and for some reason they just don't want to fire it off on the Siren, which, you know, I get it. It's a 1-mana 1/1 that is getting me value, but it's just a really good card. Is the thing. Kind of want to just hold on to this Preacher until I have it with the Interference or some type of removal up. I never want to let them... I never want to untap with them having a bunch of stuff on board. It gets a little bit harder for me if I can't clear up their side as well. Might not be a cut down. It might just be a go for the throat or something. And so that's why they're a little more hesitant to fire it off on this. So I'll just play the land first when I crack the map. Although, I guess I'm probably not Phantom Interferencing that. This maybe makes them a little less likely to cast it, though. Because they're not keeping me off of lands, but I guess I want them to cast it. I don't know. I'm pretty okay keeping my Spyglass Siren here. Yeah, that's not bad. Duress would be better here, I guess, but I don't know. I'm over it. I'm over this, both of those cards. Like, sure, you know what I have in my hand, but is that worth it? Probably take Urtai here. I don't know. My hand is stacked currently. I think you take Urtai. All right. Let's untap. Wow, that's a great draw. Not going to slam it here. Possible they have a Fairy Mastermind. Want to keep up my counter spells. Yada, yada, yada. Did miss a third land, though, which is good for me. They did, not me. All right, and this is... I mean, I don't want to call it yet, but they've only cast one spell with 3 lands. It's looking like a sweep. I will cast it now. It's a very good card. I don't want it to get taken away and for me to do nothing again this turn. It's time to pressure them down and start going for the kill. And if they have a removal spell for it, that's fine. I don't know why they're doing it in response. Yeah, you don't get to choose something from my graveyard like that. Okay, so now they're still stuck on 3 lands. I get to start drawing cards, and I think this game is pretty much over. I have 4 good answers to whatever they may play in a Coastal Piracy. Yeah. GG's. Alright, I have to get out of here pretty soon. Soon as I'm finished with this.